Okay, just got this. I believe this is a video card. This is a Nvidia 3060 Ti. Weirdly, it wasn't. It was saying it was gonna come tomorrow, which was the 10th. Which is the 10th. It's the 9th today, and I'm supposed to actually receive a front panel piece for a Dell today. This came, so small piece of bubble wrap. I didn't assume this was going to be perfect because the guy doesn't have a lot of cells. Okay, so it is in the original box. It does say 3060 Ti, Zotac Gaming, twin edge. Okay, so this side's open, this side's open. Kind of weird if someone opens on both sides. Here we go. It's going to be a box in a box. A box in a box. Okay. There's a box in a box again. You see that? Like, box seems in pretty good shape. What should have been right here, but the original packing for this is pretty decent, you know. Cushion to it. Feels way more bubbly than a normal one. So here is the card. It looks decently clean. Yeah, it looks really pretty clean to me. This requires one 8-pin. Does have a little back plate. Been nice if they would have just left this open, kind of better than what they did. But so it does say Zotac. Small print. It looks like 3060 Ti. So there's that. And then in the back got a display port, and HDMI. Fans seem pretty smooth. So I'm assuming this is going to be RGB right here, or maybe just one single color. I didn't even put the drivers on my computer or take nothing and get prepared for this to come. I wasn't expecting this to come. Yeah, I wonder what originally came in this slot. If you're watching this and you know, leave a comment on the bottom. But it is nice it came in the original box. Most of the time you don't get the original box, but heatsink looks fine. Like, card doesn't look really dirty. Do not see a void warranty sticker on it. Most video cards anymore have that on it, but this one does not. So maybe they took it off, or they just haven't taken this card apart, which they shouldn't really. You can see some of the in here. I don't know. You can see the thermal pads here for the memory. So everything on it that I can see so far looks really good. So, I guess the next part would be me quickly installing it. Okay, so already I'm loosing the side panel. Here's this. So as you can see, this in the system now, this is the system I built with the 3900X, 32 gigs of RAM, a 500 gig NVMe SSD, and a 12 terabyte hard drive, and a 850 watt 80 plus gold rated power supply. So, and like I was saying, this is an Nvidia 980 Ti, 6 gig. So it has 6 gigs of VRAM, and it is GDDR5, so it isn't the higher speed, you know, memory for a card. We do have the power switch is off. Now this card does take an 8-pin and a 6-pin, so I have to redo some cable management. But there's that. This is a card that I got running a while back. Still has a little plastic here because basically it's the same card that didn't work before that I changed the diode on. I think all it was something, I don't really know, but the other card that I had that had a water block on it, well, it has a water block on it now, is damaged down here. We just kind of dug into this, made sure nothing was bridged, and we didn't even have to jump anything, and then we put the die that was on this card back on that other video card, and it's working. So I don't know, maybe some of the solder balls for the die just cracked or something, but it's working perfectly fine. Been running for a good amount of time, and yeah, seems to be working perfectly fine. No issues out of it. So actually, you know, like this is a way smaller card. Looks a little bit taller, you know, from the cooler side, but it's a shorter card. Only requires an 8-pin instead of an 8-pin and a 6-pin. So I'll have to redo it because I have this zip tied together. So there's a 6-pin and there's an 8, which is an 6 plus 2, and this is 6 plus 2. So there's that. We'll put these screws back in. Now, I haven't ran DDU yet. I'm gonna just see what it does for now, and then obviously when the card boots up and everything's good, I'll run DDU, because I don't think the drivers really, you know, they're the same drivers, but I don't think they're really, you know, it's gonna be like problem with it. But I'm gonna run DDU. I already downloaded the latest drivers for this card. Just go ahead. Yeah, you can obviously tell like the cable management's kind of be off a little bit because these were up. They are actually going the opposite way. Since that, it's gonna want to fight with me, because even my other card I think was the opposite way. So. There's that. This will just have to sit there for right now, because I have to remove that. Hit the power switch. Monitor should be already on. So just kind of rotate this. Yeah, my desk is kind of dirty. I got a movie from the library sitting there. But just give this a try. So. Power switch is on, hitting the power button. Well, just hook in. It might help if I hook in the cables first. Okay, so DVI. And that's what both these monitors are hooked in through the display port. So hooking these both back up. And now I'm hitting the power button. So you see what it does. The car's lighting up. It is lighting up white. So there we go, has an image so far. See what it does. Okay, there we go. That's kind of worrying why it was taking a little bit longer, but yeah. There we go, we have an image. We do not have an image on the secondary monitor. is plugged in. Okay, that should be drivers. Okay, there we go. So it didn't have the drivers set. Drivers weren't up, but now we got an image on both sides, so the video card is working pretty smoothly. Says, yeah, your audio playback device has changed because this is doing through the video card instead of my speakers. But the next part of this video will be probably some kind of gameplay. I did do some benchmarks. I'll probably just maybe put the numbers in and show you the difference between the 980 Ti and this, since this is an upgrade for this system. And that's the end of this part, or the end of the video. I'm not for sure yet. Okay, thank you. You'll see the next part, because I will put some kind of numbers up. You know, I'll probably write it out what the difference is, because I did, most of the games I have are older. So the 980 Ti actually would be perfect. It's still perfect for the games I play, and my screen's 1080p and it's 75 hertz. Yeah, I can upscale it. So most of my games now I play, Nvidia actually upscales it to 4K anyway, so it's running on a 1080p screen. My hand in here, so it's a 1080p screen that Nvidia upscales the resolution to 4K, 1440p most of the time, because I play older games. You know, like the newest game I have technically would be Cyberpunk, because the newest update. So, and then maybe like The Witcher with the new update. Can't remember when they put it out. I just recently got Alan Wake, the remake. I didn't buy the second one. I bought the remake. Then I was gonna buy part 2. I might buy part 2 now, since I gotta, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know, but I'll throw some comparisons up on the screen. It'd probably be just some screenshots that I took of the two cards, so I can have them for example. Like Tomb Raider has benchmarks, Rise of Tomb Raider has benchmarks. I'll probably put them two numbers, you know, like screenshots side by side, so you can see the two difference between a 980 Ti and 3060 Ti. This is a 8 gig video card. That's a 6 gig. Most of the time in games, it seems like I wasn't using more than 4 gigs anyways out of the 6. But most of the games I play, I can max them out at 1080p and still get above 100 FPS. So, like I said, some of the games I play, it actually upscales it to 4K, and I still was hitting around 60, 70 FPS. So I'll put them screenshots, you know, side by side, so you can see the two difference. And the settings were exactly the same. So I didn't change any of that. I won't change it when I run these. The settings would be the same. Like I ran it already with the 580, the RX 580 from AMD, and then I ran the 980 Ti. So I can probably throw the two together, because basically it's kind of how the upgrade went. It went from a 580, and then I decided to go ahead and put the 980 Ti in it, and now the 3060. So here would be the screenshots of it, and probably me talking why I'm showing the screenshots. But card seems good. I'm gonna run DDU now, and then do a fresh install of new drivers from Nvidia that I just downloaded today as of November 9th, 2023. So see what kind of performance it gets. This is gonna be pretty nice. For a downgrade, it's actually gonna be better than the system that I got rid of, that I wanted to downgrade. So I sold the other system to downgrade it to a lower system, which is now an upgrade, because the other system only had a 5600G, 16 gigs of RAM, and RX 5700 XT. So this system here now has a 3900X, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 3060 Ti. So downgrade went to an upgrade, which is way overkill for the games I play. Like, I have tons of games that I haven't played. That's why I don't know if I want to buy a newer game, because I have tons of games already that I haven't played. Some of them I have downloaded but haven't played them yet, and some of them I don't even have downloaded yet, like tons of games. So this is going to be where I show the screenshots comparing at least the 980 Ti to the 3060 Ti, and I'll go over where the numbers were. But you know, here's the next part. So this is just like some screenshots I took after benchmarking these. So here is the results from going from a 980 Ti to a 3060 Ti. So yeah, the system that was supposed to be a downgrade, but we'll get into that later. But the 980 Ti, Firestrike got a 5001. The 3060 Ti got 11,827. 67%. It says better than 67% of all results. The other video card that's perfectly fine for the games I play, better than 21% of the results. So that's not a downgrade, right? So even if you look at the original system, so here is the original system. The original system I was downgrading, you can see here had a 5700 XT 8GB video card too, and an APU. So it's a 5600G, so a 6-core 12-thread, and I went from a 6-core 12-thread CPU to a 12-core 24-thread CPU. And like I was saying before, this system here had 16 gigs of RAM. This one has 32. A faster, a Samsung NVMe SSD. I think this was, I can't even remember the name of this one. What was it? Yeah, I can't think of the name of the SSD, but this was a 512 NVMe SSD. This is a 500. So the system is not a downgrade, it's an upgrade. That's what happens when you think you're going to do a downgrade. Like I originally, this system I was going to downgrade from here was going to be that X99 system, but then to get a decent board, a good board, it was like $100, $150, $200 just for the motherboard to use like the lowest end i7 that board that I have, because I have the lowest end i7 that X99 could support, I believe so. I had the i7 5820K, which I still have, and I still have the 16 gigs of RAM, so it's four 4-gig sticks, so it puts it in quad channel. So then I got another motherboard that had a 1600, right? A 1600X, so I was going to go that route. No, well, ended up getting this right here, so I was like, I'll just use that for the downgrade and get rid of this one. And then later on I can still downgrade from this, right? So keep saying so. But it went from downgrading from this to this. But originally I was going to do the X99 system, 16 gigs of RAM, and then I still was going to keep, the 980 Ti in that system, so it would have been a downgrade. I just needed a system that the CPU is fast enough that it didn't hold back the video card. They didn't slow down the 980 Ti. But then, I was like, well, since I have, a better CPU, more RAM, better storage, and now I have a 850 80 plus gold rated power supply. I could just put a better video card in it. So it went from a downgrade to this. So you just get back into the benchmarks. As you can see here, the original system I was downgrading only got 9,520, and the new video card got 11,000 827. You see the next results. So here is Fire Strike. Says I got, you know, a little better than average for the overall score. Says great. And you can see here what they say your numbers are going to be. And here is a Fire Strike. Oh, that's some of these pictures I got off somehow because I kept forgetting to take these screenshots. But you can see here is a Fire Strike number. Just go with the so the 980 Ti that I replaced this with again, right? Got a 15,691, better than 60% of all results. Okay, so then over here, the 3060 Ti, which is an LHR model, so it's I don't, you know, do any crypto, so that doesn't matter to me. I got a 30,416, and it is better than 92% of results. So this card is not overclocked. It's nothing done to it, and it increased power limits, nothing. It's just put the card in, put the latest drivers on it, and that was it. Okay, so then the next one's Fire Strike Extreme. Same thing here. It says good for Fire Strike Extreme. I got a little better than the average for the system. Still, CPU and video card, no overclock, just out of the box stock settings. So zoom back out. So Time Spy Extreme got a right there on the screen, and then just go and Time Spy Extreme on the supposedly system that I was downgrading to from. Got a 4,605. It says better than 21% of the results. So it went from that score to a 5,728. Better than 33% of the results. And then the card I was supposed to stick with, just skipped way too fast. Okay, why does it keep jumping over that one? Okay, that's... I have no idea where the... yeah, I have no idea where the 980 Ti numbers went for this one. I think it's something overrid it or something. But, you know, you can see the numbers are really nice. Like, and here is Time Spy Shred Test. It passed it, so the 3060 Ti passed it. You just go back to here. So as you can see here, this right here on the right side would have been the system I was intending to downgrade, so I would have went with the X99 system. I didn't want an AliExpress board, no name brand board. I wanted a decent board, you know, something pretty good. Obviously, you should get what I mean. But I went from a 5600G APU, which is 6 cores, 12 threads, to 3900X, which is 12 cores, 24 threads, from, you know, well, I'll start back over again. From a system that only had 6 cores, 12 threads, APU, 16 gigs of RAM, running at 3200 CL22, 5700 XT, a 512 NVMe SSD that got decent speeds, you know, and a 650 watt 80 plus gold rated power supply to the 12 cores, 24 threads CPU, and the 3060 Ti and 32 gigs of RAM running at 3200, but CL18, 500 gigs Samsung NVMe SSD, so it's a faster drive with like, what did I say? I had like 57 hours on it. That was it, and then the power supply is a 850 watt 80 plus gold rated power supply. But remember, I sold this system because I wanted to do a downgrade. And this is what the downgrade ended up being right here. I think these should kind of be reversed, right? This should be the downgrade, because the system here's a little faster than this one. But that's what it ended up being. I still have the other system that I'm waiting for adapter with that has the Ryzen 5 1600X, and right now it's sitting with the 580, RX 580 in it, which I'm gonna upgrade that to the 980 Ti since I'm not using that card anymore. So technically I could resell the system here and go with my original intention of downgrading this, so sell this system off too, keep the other system. Only thing bad about it, that other system only has 8 gigs of RAM, the 1600X. I would need to get another 8 gig stick of RAM, and then that system would be fine, right? Yeah, like that other system will be fine for what it intended to, because most of the games I'm playing, I want a system that's gonna do really good, FPS, higher settings. And most of my games are older games, so the 980 Ti would be perfect. Like it does, like let's see, like it does way better. This video isn't part of that one, but I could sell this system here and just keep the other system that I have no intentions on selling once I get an adapter. And I've had it up for sale, but I pulled that system because it was annoying when you first started up and you get, either you had to hit escape for it wouldn't do the post check because it's a Dell board. So it would do a post check to see if everything was working, and it would stay on the fan for a while because it's trying to run the fan, and then it would give you a fan error. It'd say that it couldn't communicate with the fan, and then you hit continue down at the bottom. If you like a little icon here, you hit continue. So I wasn't happy about that, so I went ahead and just pulled it down until I could get the stuff I needed for it to make sure that you turn it on and just boots in and runs fine. But now it's kind of good. I pulled it instead of selling it because it's gonna have a better video card. If you use like you go online and use like a bottleneck benchmark test, like you could put your video card, your CPU in, and do like graphic test or CPU test or overall. I did a graphics test. It says the card that is in it now is a RX 580 8 gig. It says that card is a little bit too weak for the 1600X. When you run it and you switch it over to the Nvidia 980 Ti, it says it's a perfect match. So that's good, because it's like in Shadow of Tomb Raider, it got like the 980 Ti got like 15% more. 15%. It got like 15 FPS higher on average. So it's overall a better card than the 580, the RX 580 from AMD. So, like I said, I could just not sell that system. I could keep that system. That system would be perfect for what I had intended on why I sold this system. I sold this system to do a downgrade, so someone else could have a good system, a good gaming system, right? And I could still have a good gaming system
for the games that I want to play on that system. So yeah, it didn't turn out that way. Obviously, I ended up getting actually technically a better system than what I was trying to downgrade for. Even you see here on the score, the system I was trying to downgrade from had a 4,438. That number's kind of low because you can see the CPU scores really. It's the part that brings this score down pretty far. But on the new system that's supposed to have been a downgrade, got a 5,862. How is this a downgrade? Now, like the 1600X, but then I'd have the same problem with the 1600X system, because the fact that I'd have to, get another 8 gig stick of RAM for it, and then I'd want to, minimum wise, upgrade from the 1600X to like a 2600X, so it would natively support Windows 11, because I want that system to still be good. Windows 10 has another 2 years. I want that system to last me more than 2 years. So it'd be the same boat again, is that I'd probably keep that system and run it like that for a while if I actually sell this one. So if I sell this one, I'll keep the 1600X system for the purpose that I wanted to attend to. So that would be a downgrade from this system, right? And obviously it's a downgrade from here. So I went from downgrading this system, selling this system to build a system that was a downgrade, to this system, which is not a downgrade. It makes no sense. I'll probably list it if I get any good offers on it. Whatever one sells first, whatever one sells first, I'll keep the one that doesn't sell. So if this system sold, this one here is sold before the 1600X, I would keep the 1600X system. But if the 1600X system sold, I'd keep this one. Not really too much else I could say about this. I'm probably going to put it in as the downgrade that turned into an upgrade. Because, yeah, like the whole system's better. I got a better CPU, better video card, double amount of storage, well, double the amount of RAM, 12 gigs less for storage, but faster. I still using my 12 terabyte hard drive in here too, because my games are always on there. And went from a 650 watt power supply to 850. So everything on this system here is an upgrade from here. And I'm using the same motherboard. I'm actually using the exact same motherboard I was running here on this system here. And I'm using my smaller Fractal Design case, a Silent Edition case. So visual wise it looks identical, but it's an upgrade. Every part in this is an upgrade from this. And you can see the numbers. Like here's CPU 6,759. The old one was 3,667. And same thing with the video card. It 5,728. 4,605. So no downgrade there. But that's going to be the end of this part. Thank you for watching.